Zethyn, or just Z, from 360 Yoga, and I focus on yoga for back care and making yoga accessible for everyone. And in partnership with the Woodward Park Library, we're going to bring you this upper body chair yoga practice, and we'll get started with a chair. I have a yoga chair that doesn't have a back, and any dining room chair or metal folding chair will work. So just find something stable that doesn't have wheels so you're not rolling around. And what you need to do to start with chair yoga is come to the front of your seat. So just your sitting bones are on the chair and your legs are off the chair. And take this moment to just notice how you arrive. You already are having to support your back more than if you were sitting at the back of your chair. So just bring yourself to the front and notice your shoulders. Maybe if you're leaning, just be aware of that foundation of your feet up to your legs. And begin to take a few breaths. You can close your eyes here. Just noticing how you arrived. And then now from the base of your spine, start to lift up through your chest, through your torso, as if somebody's pulling the crown of your head up. So you find additional length in the body. You can press even into your feet here to create more stability in your lower half. And begin to expand your breath. Taking longer inhales, longer exhales, really breathing into your full chest, your belly. And as you focus on your breath, notice if you started leaning forward, leaning to one side, if your back is maybe even starting to get a little tired. And try to bring yourself back stable with your shoulders over your hips, that length through the spine. We'll just take one more expansive breath here. And then if your eyes are closed, you can open them. We're just going to start circling our shoulders forward, up, and back. Just inhaling as you raise your shoulders, exhaling as you lower. Your range of motion here might be small, might be large, might be going faster or slower. Just find that rhythm and that range of motion that works for you. And just connecting with the movement with your breath. Now we'll go the opposite direction. So after you come back through to center, we'll round to the back and then coming forward. Inhaling as you raise your shoulders, exhaling as you lower. Just starting to loosen up through your upper body here. Notice if one direction is a little easier or if one is harder than the other. And after this circle, just come back through to center. And notice that feeling, that warmth maybe that's starting in your upper body. Now we're going to bring our arms above our head in a nice arm stretch. And so bring your hands together, palms facing you. And notice which pinky is on bottom, because we're going to switch and do the other side later. So now bring your palms away from you, elbows are still bent, and bring your arms up above your head. And as you do that, your chest might open. And then straighten your arms as best you can. They might not get there. And just bring your hands up towards the ceiling, stretching through your upper body, your entire arm, your hands. You're probably really feeling that stretch. And the longer we're here, the more you will feel it. And it's fine if you are here, if this is where you're at today, or even if your arms are a little more forward. But the idea is just to get nice lengthening through the sides of the torso, stretching through the arms. The more we spend time at our computers, our forearms are really tight. So this is a good stretch for that. But when our arms are over our head, usually our heart rates pick up a little bit. Noticing my breath is getting a little more choppy. It's harder to bring your arms above your head. Take a few more breaths here. You're feeling this. And bend your elbows. Bring your hands down, and we'll switch and bring the other pinky on bottom. And this is going to be the weird side. We usually are used to crossing our hands one way, and so this side will feel probably different. And so we'll turn our hands away from us, keeping our elbows bent to start. Bring your arms above your head, and then straighten your arms as best you can, really stretching through the side body, lifting the palms up towards the ceiling. Be breathing into your chest. You're finding more space in your torso, so breathe into that area. Just expand, lifting up through the heart space. You can look up if you want, if it doesn't bother your neck. Really feeling that stretch through the arms. We have about 2 more breaths here. And we'll release the hands down and just sit for a moment with hands on your lap, just feeling maybe tingles, the additional blood kind of running through your arms now. Making sure you're still towards the front end of your seat. We're gonna come up into a chair pose, and this is a more heated pose, so you can also have the support of a wall, or you can come behind your chair for support for this pose, and you can help lift yourself up using your own chair that you're sitting on now. If you need a little bit of assistance getting up. And so think about bringing your weight into your heels, especially of your feet, and just kind of hinge forward. I have my hands on the hips to start, but you can bring them to the chair. You can even bring them up by your ears for a little more core work. So begin to hinge forward, and then lift your hips up off the chair. Your feet can be hip width apart or together. And now think about pulling your lower abdominals in and lengthening your spine. And typically people try to bring their knees way far forward on this pose. You want them to be about in line with your ankles. They may come a little bit more forward of your ankles, but you don't want them over your toes. So your hands could still be here on your hips, or you can raise them up over your head, kind of by your ears, or you can have them here in front of your heart. Feel a lot of work here in your legs. Think about opening through the chest. My shoulders are even rolling forward here. Open through the front of the chest. Take one more breath here. And stand all the way up. We're gonna come now to the back of our chair. So I'm gonna bring the top of my chair kind of up towards my hips. We're gonna come into mountain pose. It's the foundational pose of yoga, and it's basically just standing. But I'm gonna keep my feet about hip width apart for more stability, but you're welcome to bring your feet together. And now think about pressing down through your feet, so really grounding through all 4 corners, and then pulling up with the fronts of your thighs, your quadriceps, pulling them up into your hips. Lower abdominals as best you can. I can't pull my belly in too much, but think about pulling it up and in, and that helps lengthen your lower back. And then think about lifting up through the chest and broadening through the shoulders. This is an active standing pose. And then we'll bring our hands to the front of the seat, or front of the chair, and now push into the chair. So now you're starting to work your upper back and your shoulders, and finding a little more length as you press into the chair. You can find more length in the spine. And breathe. And we'll go back through, starting at your feet. Press down through the feet. Pull up through the fronts of the thighs, pulling your legs up into your hips. Lower abdominals in. Open through the chest, pressing into the seat, lengthening through the crown of the spine, crown of the head. Take one more breath and release that pose. And now we'll come around. You can move the chair or walk around the chair. And we're just gonna come into basically a half forward fold here. If this is too much even for your hamstrings, you can bring a pillow or something up onto the chair so you're not as far down, but usually this is fairly accessible. And try to keep your spine long, so try not to collapse here into your joints, but press into the chair so you can lift up. And you'll notice the arms are already starting to work. And then pull your lower abdominals in as if you were standing to engage your core. So you should be feeling a stretch in the backs of your thighs, feel your core engage, and your arms are working. You could stay here with hips over your ankles, or you could begin to walk your feet out behind you into more of a plank pose. We're gonna be here for a few breaths, so you have the option of where you wanna put your feet, or you can find a middle ground. Just beginning to put more weight into your hands, or take more of that weight away. The focus though should be pulling your core in and engaging and lifting up out of your hands so your arms and upper back are working. Lengthen through the spine. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself back up to standing. And we'll come back to sitting on our chair. And now when you come to your seat, make sure, again, just your legs are hanging off the chair, and so just your sitting bones are on the seat. And so you're finding that length in the spine, your back is working to support you here. And we're just gonna begin to open through the chest. And so we'll bring our hands behind us, and you can put your hands on the seat to help lift your spine up and open through the front of the chest, or you can even grab the back of the chair to open your chest even more if that feels good. But hands just right behind your hips, lifting up through the spine, really breathing into the chest here. You're gonna find some length and opening. We spend so much of our time like hunched over our devices throughout the day. So taking a couple of breaths with this open chest, it's really gonna help kind of loosen up those tight muscles, kind of counter those poor posture activities that we do all day. And just breathe. It might be hard to breathe into the belly here in the lower chest because we're focusing so much on the upper body, but try to breathe into the whole front body. And one more breath here. And release the arms. And now we're just gonna do a gentle twist towards the right. I'm gonna bring my right hand behind me. It can again be on the seat, or you can grab the side of the chair. And then my left hand is just gonna be on the inside of my left thigh. I'm just twisting towards the right. Focus here on lengthening through the spine. A lot of people will lean back when they're twisting. And find that length, especially on the inhale. Try to lengthen your spine up, and on the exhale, you can see if you would twist a little more to the right, but don't push or shove. This isn't the time for that. This is just gentle opening and twisting for mobility in the spine. Breathing here. And we'll come back through to center and we'll go the other direction. So bring your left hand behind you, either to the chair, leg here, chair arm, or the seat, right hand to the inside of the thigh. Lift the spine up so it's long, and then twist gently towards the left. You can look over your back shoulder if you want a little bit of a neck stretch, but if you have any kind of neck injury, just look, or if it's not comfortable, just look forward, kind of in line with your spine, or you can do a gentle twist of your neck towards the side. You don't need to crane your head around. Continue to breathe. Might be harder to breathe into your lower belly here, your lower ribs. See if you can. And then we'll come back through to center. And now we're in our final resting pose, which is Shavasana. And usually we're laying down for that pose. And you're welcome to lay down and bring the backs of your legs, like your calves, onto the seat. That is very comfortable. And so you're welcome to do that. Or finally, hooray, you can sit to the back of your chair and actually feel the support under your legs and even to the back, even though my chair doesn't have much of a back, but you finally can get a little bit of support. And bringing your hands just to your thighs, just wherever in your lap is comfortable. You can close down the eyes or just soften your gaze, kind of letting your periphery go out of focus. And just take a few breaths, noticing how you feel. Noticing if your breath rate is kind of quickened. See if you can slow that down a little bit just by slowing down the breath. Starting at your toes, just kind of check in. Start working your way up your body, just seeing if there's any tension you can release. Especially when you get to your shoulders and your upper body, just think about letting any tension there go. See if there's any tension around your eyes, your jaw. Can you let that soften? And take kind of 2 more conscious breaths here. And on the exhale, just see if you can let even more weight just sink down off of you into the mat, into the chair. And then if your eyes are closed, you can slowly open them. And we'll bring our hands together at our heart. Just bow your head for a moment. It should feel like a nice neck stretch. Just thank yourself for this time that you've taken to kind of focus on yourself and your own well-being. And then slowly raise your head and your eyelids. And thank you for tuning into this video.